Hey, good morning, warriors. Welcome to this video. Welcome to Sergeant's Time. We'll go over a little bit more of what that means. But before I get sidetracked, I wanted to introduce myself. My name is, like I said, is Sergeant Apolinar, and I'm with the Alaska Army National Guard Recruit Sustainment Program. I'm one of the 3 RSP NCOs that handles the day-to-day activities, along with Sergeant First Class Ostrowski and Sergeant First Class Thomas. We help you in your journey before you ship out to your initial active duty training. Initial active duty training is a term that encompasses your basic combat training, your AIT, your advanced individual training, your one station unit training, so on and so forth. So, Sergeant's Time. Let's talk about Sergeant's Time. Sergeant's Time is a block of time that NCOs, that leaders set aside, specifically when I say leaders, specifically NCOs, hence the Sergeant's Time, to share, impart knowledge to their soldiers. And that's what we're doing here, using this platform, the video platform. We're going to use the Sergeant's Time and ensure that you are better prepared to attend basic combat training and you become successful, come back and be a fully qualified soldier. So our mission in Sergeant's Time is to impart information to RSP warriors in order to better prepare you for the rigorous training during an active duty training. That is our mission. And our goal is to post every Thursday, and it will cover topics such as administrative topics or training topics, land nav, tactics, so on and so forth. And we'll use this whiteboard to kind of go through that to aid us in our training. And I don't want to bore you with any PowerPoint presentations, but if we have to use the PowerPoint presentations, we will. But obviously, it's because of the technology that we have now, we can utilize it, but it'll take some learning. And the goal is you'll see other NCOs that will train you in whatever topic it is. But moving forward, let's get right on it. So the first topic for today is an RSP overview. RSP overview, for some of you, for most of you, this is something that you should already know what the RSP is, what the different phases, so on and so forth, right? So this is not to insult your intelligence, but we just want to start from the very basic and then from there span out into more different topics, into cooler topics such as tactics, so on and so forth, right? So, like I said, today's topic will be an RSP overview. Before I proceed, this is an unclassified information brief, and kind of give you a little bit of my background. Both active duty and Army National Guard combined, I have 10 years, a little over 10 years. I am one of the drill sergeants that assists in training during the drill weekend. So you'll get to see me that way as well. Let's see, what else did I do? My MOS, my job, my military occupational specialty is infantry. I have been deployed 3 times, all in Afghanistan, and I loved every moment of that experience. And it's the leaders that I've had, the soldiers that I've had, they're a big reason of why I am here today still, and who I am as a leader, right? So that's a little bit about me, and let's get right on it. This is, again, the agenda is to cover RSP overview. It should take no more than 10 minutes. That's the goal. We'll see. So the first part that I want to cover is, let's see what we got here. We're going to use, like, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, this whiteboard is going to be our media. So, welcome. Welcome. What does that mean? What does that mean for you? You are here, obviously, because you have made the commitment to to serve your country. And that is a big commitment that not a lot of Americans do or partake in, right? So there's common knowledge in the military community about the 1%. What is that? So you are part of you are part of the less than 1% of Americans that have raised their right hand and said, I want to serve this country. So you're a part of that crew. You're a part of that group. You're a part of that organization. And if you boil down to it, there are different branches of the military, right? And so you're part of the less than 1% of the less than 1% that serves in the Army, in the National Guard, right? And we commend that. We commend your decision in doing that. And we need every single one of you to defend our state, our country, and to serve in this organization. You are vital, and you might just be starting your journey in your military career, but guess what? Up to the general, the command sergeant major, everybody has been in your position. Everyone at one point in time was in the exact position that you're in right now, awaiting to go to basic combat training. So welcome. And again, we commend you, we applaud you for making that decision, and your family for making that decision to serve in our organization, to serve our state, to serve this country. Just quick alibi on the background. I was born and raised in the Philippines, so I was an immigrant. When I should say I'm an immigrant, and through the Army, I got my citizenship. And this country has given so much to not only to me, but to my family, because throughout my Army career, found my wife, and now I have 2 kids, and this organization is providing for us, right? This country not only providing financially, but also the security. Think of everything that's going on in the world right now, and compare that to the situation that you're in. Let's not even go as far as Afghanistan. The whole controversy in that. Don't get too wrapped up around that. But think about the kids that are there right now. The crisis that's happening. The famine. The lack of safety. Right? So, again, don't want to get sidetracked, but you are doing your part. You're doing a part in that to make this world, and that's how I see it, is you're doing a portion to make this world a better place, right? So that's a motivation of me, and that's why I want to keep on doing this for however long this organization sees fit that I can serve especially warriors, especially the junior soldiers, right? So again, so that's the welcome portion of this brief. There's a couple notes here that I think is beneficial, so let's read. It's not uncommon for an RSP soldier to reach basic combat training with the advantage of having actually done things that are taught in more advanced phases of training. For instance, you will learn first aid for a bleeding extremity and proper splinting techniques, and how to use a map to determine your location as well as that of an enemy position. These tasks will be repeated in basic combat training, but you will have had an opportunity to familiarize yourself with them immediately, giving you the advantage at your first military assignment. Guess what that means? What I'm gathering from that is we, the RSP, are here to prepare you and get you prepared for the rigorous training that you'll receive in basic combat training through first aid, land nav, tactics, so on and so forth. And it gives you an advantage because your counterpart, they don't get that experience, right? So you as a National Guard soldier, as a citizen soldier, you will have that experience even before attending basic combat training. Some of you might not. For example, if you enlist and then 30 days later you leave right away, right? But for the most part, that's what the program is, right? And we're going to go over more of that here in a bit. So let's see. In addition, RSP prepares you for Advanced Individual Training, AIT. At AIT, you will learn your specialized skill to perform in the military, what we call your Military Occupational Specialty, MOS. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm 11 Bravo Infantry. That may be infantry, supply, mechanic, medic, military police, or any number of opportunities the Army National Guard provides. When you finish AIT, you'll be MOS qualified. All these acronyms, the Army loves acronyms, so they might throw you off, but you'll get a hang of it. Yeah, so last thing about this welcome brief. I guess to summarize the welcome brief is, again, we applaud your decision in serving in this organization, serving your state, and serving your country. Thank you. So, moving on. So what else do we have? So initial counseling, that's another thing that you will see in the RSP or in the military, just in the military in general. You'll have these 4856s, the DA 4856, and it's a developmental counseling form. This is a form that we use to ensure that you are where you're at, to essentially figure out where you're at, where you want to be, and how you're gonna be. How are you gonna get there, right? So this is an initial counseling that I did with a recruit of mine a couple of years ago, and I just wanted to share what that is, right? So again, the expectation. So I'm gonna read through this and share it with you, and you'll get your own initial counseling when you attend your first drill, which is a phase called red phase. We'll go over that right after this. Initial counseling. The purpose of this counseling are to establish my expectation. Again, this is from me to to a soldier, to a recruit of mine. The purpose of this counseling are to establish my expectation and standards, identify specific goals, prepare you physically and mentally for basic combat training, and execute that plan, right? So it's one thing to talk about it, but it's another thing to execute. Key points of discussion. As a soldier, you should at all times conduct yourself accordingly, not in a manner as to discredit yourself or the unit in or out of a uniform. You'll hear this term. You're a 24/7 soldier. You are a soldier in and out of a uniform. You should feel confident in the fact that you are a member of an outstanding organization. If at any time you feel you need assistance, do not hesitate to inform someone in your direct chain of command. So that your first line leader, if you are... So what are first line leaders? Your first line leaders are your recruiters. So if you, and hopefully you know who your recruiter is, because they're the ones that help you in getting to enlist to where you're at now. So always maintain that contact with your recruiter. I expect for you to conduct yourself as a disciplined soldier, and for you to know what is expected of you. Okay, I don't want to bore you with all this. I just want to go over a couple things. For example, physical training, right? Physical training. You need to consistently prepare for yourself so as to achieve this goal. Remember, if you fail a PT test or OPAT, we'll go over what that is. That might hinder you from shipping, right? Let's see, what else? Uniform and appearance. Your uniform needs to be presentable at all times. At no time should your uniform fall below the standards set forth in AR 670-1. Also, you need to make sure you are in the correct uniform for the mission. If you are unsure of what the correct uniform is, contact me or your recruiter, and I will provide you with that information. Males, you're required to be clean shaven and fresh haircut no sooner than 2 days before drill, right? And lastly, accountability. Let's hit those 3 points, and then we'll move on. Be where you need to be when you need to be there with the proper gear. In all events, you need to keep me, or in my absence, one of the other NCOs in our squad or in your team, as I made aware of them. Be aware that things change at a moment's notice, so be prepared in case a situation arises. Always be prepared and plan ahead. So again, your first line leader, to summarize the 4856, the initial counseling, your first line leader is the person, your recruiter that you go to if you have any issues, right? They're the first contact that you need to make if there are any issues if there are any issues. All right, so moving on to the next topic. Phase. There are 5 phases in the RSP. There is red phase. There are 5 phases, like I said, there are 5 phases. There is red phase, white phase, blue phase, green phase, and gold phase. Red phase is your first drill. I say it again. Red phase is your first drill. So if you enlisted, let's say the 2 warriors that enlisted yesterday, their red phase drill will be this upcoming drill, January 21st, 22nd. Yep. Let me correct my dates. January 22nd and 23rd is the next drill for them, right? So that is, they would be attending their red phase drill. And what does that mean? I'm going to read this and elaborate a little bit more. The soldier's first RSP drill weekend begins with the red phase. In this phase, you will be in processing and you will receive classes that will introduce you to initial soldier skills. You will also receive an OPAT, an occupational physical assessment test. So in red phase, you should expect to, unless something happens, right? But you should expect to get your uniform, your ACUs, your PFUs, your physical fitness uniform. If you don't have your ID card yet, we'll process that as well. And STREM, the Strength Training Readiness Module, right? And essentially that's what we're, STREM, Soldier Training Readiness Modules. And that's what we're going over right now. That's the document that higher up has provided us to conduct to you. And all of these, the modules that we're using is, again, to prepare you, and we're using that. We're using these modules for sergeant's time. So that is red phase. That is your first drill. After your second drill, in between your second drill and before your last drill, before you ship, is your white phase. White phase, the soldier's second RSP phase. In this phase, you will continue learning soldier skills that will prepare you for basic combat training. This will include land navigation, tactics, and other classes to make you better and more prepared as a soldier. So again, red phase, your first drill. White phase is your second drill up until before your last drill, before you ship. And your last drill before you ship is your blue phase. But before we go over the blue phase, so white phase, we talked about training such as land navigation, tactics, and other classes, right? Again, using the STREM module. And sometimes we work with other units, like for example, the aviation units, to gain to better training, to have better a training experience. And for example, we've done flight orientation using the Black Hawk in previous drills, right? So that white phase essentially that comprises of the bulk of your RSP drills. Blue phase. This phase takes place just prior to shipping to basic training and AIT, and provides an overview and review of what each soldier should expect at reception battalion and basic combat training. This phase will also be a last check to ensure that you are mentally prepared, administratively correct, and physically fit. What does that mean? The whole mission of RSP is to ship you. And what does that mean? For us to ship a warrior to basic combat training or AIT, you need to be mentally prepared, administratively correct, and physically fit. Focusing on and that's the acronym for that is MAP, right? So mentally prepared, what does that mean? You need to be mentally prepared, resilient, to ensure that you're good to go, ready to go to attend the training, right? Administratively correct, what does that mean? If there are any changes since your enlistment as far as medical, law violations, marriage, anything, right? Anything administrative, and you bring that up to your first line leader or during drill, right? And the physically fit part is you have to pass, before you can ship to basic training, you have to pass an occupational physical assessment test, an OPAT, right? And we'll go over the OPAT, and then that's going to be a different topic, right? And you'll get your shipper's brief as well during blue phase. Again, and that is to ensure that you are good to go, that you are mentally fit, administratively correct, and physically fit to go to basic training. Green phase. What are green phases? If you didn't know yet, you could, as a junior in high school, you could enlist in the Army National Guard and attend basic training that summer of your junior year going into your senior year, right? So junior year, that summer you you enlist as a junior, and then that summer you attend basic training, you come back, finish your senior year, and then that summer after your senior year, you'll attend your advanced individual training, right? You have to meet certain requirements. For example, you have to be 17 years old as a junior to do that. But that's what we call the split train option, right? So green phase is for soldiers who enlisted in the split train option program and have completed phase 1 basic combat training. Green phase soldiers may serve as student leaders while they receive additional physical readiness, leadership, and basic combat training, refresher training in preparation for phase 2, AIT, with additional emphasis on basic combat training skills sustainment, often referred to as sustainment training. So we have green phase soldiers within our ranks right now, and most likely you'll see them in a leadership position. And ask them. We give opportunities. We give you an opportunity to make sure that they're sharing the best information, because they're the most recent one that have attended basic combat training, right? So, and then the last phase, gold phase, which is also known as battle handoff, also known as Arctic reception. The soldier's first drill after successful completion of initial active duty training is his or her final weekend at the RSP. Gold phase teaches soldiers what to expect at their unit of assignment, as well as what will be expected from them. Most importantly, it provides the battle handoff from the RSP to the soldier's new unit/sponsor through a formal rite of passage ceremony attended by RSP soldiers and gaining unit leadership. So what does that mean? You come back from basic training, you're all good to go, and you now attend Arctic reception. In the Arctic reception, you draw your gear from CIF. You attend these classes to make sure that everything that you need to know as far as what are the benefits that you're tracking, and then at the end of it, you are handed off to your unit through a ceremony, and your sponsor from your unit should be there to guide you and introduce you to your gaining unit. So that is Arctic reception. So those are the 5 phases. Again, to summarize this block, the phases, there are 5 phases. There's red, white, blue, green, and gold. Okay? Now, moving on to the next topic, which is what can you do to prepare? What are some resources that you should have to better prepare you for training? And that is, let's go over this, the RSP welcome packet. You should have received this at MEPS. Sergeant May, the MEPS guidance counselor, should have given you this. If you don't have one, let your recruiter, your first line leader know, or one of us during drill, and we'll give you one, right? So what's in this packet? It gives you a brief summary of what we're talking about right now, right? It covers RSP phase training, what it is. What are some frequently asked questions? Let's go over a couple of this. Number 3, the third question in the frequently asked questions, do I have to attend every RSP drill? Yes. Absences have to be approved by the RSP commander. He or she will strictly approve important life events such as prom, graduation, death in the immediate family, etc. If you are sick, report to the check-in desk your first line leader and let the RSP staff know you're sick, but you will be evaluated and, if necessary, sent home. So, do you have to attend every RSP drill? Yes. And if there is something that you need to be excused, you need to contact your first line leader and submit a split training request. Let's see. What else? What's another question? Do we spend the night at drill? Right now, because of this COVID environment, we used to, but right now, if we're having, unless it's a consolidation, right? But if you live in the Anchorage area, Anchorage Bowl area, Eagle River, Matsu Valley, so on and so forth, you will go home and report back the following day. If you're in the outlying area, Southeast Alaska, Western Alaska, we will have a barracks for you to sleep in, right? So again, these are great resources for you to have and know what's in them. So take the time to read them. Location, time, and dates of training. It gives you a schedule of when the next drill is, right? So this is good information for if you're working for your employers. What to bring to RSP. RSP, again, it just covers the whole thing. And I hate to insult your intelligence, but I know you can read, right? Because you had to pass an ASVAB and score a certain amount to get to where you're at now. So, read it. We've given you the resource, read it. The other thing is this blue book. The blue book, it has basic soldier skills that you should know to be successful, not only in RSP, but also in basic combat training. It has the soldier's creed, some history of the army, the army in general, right? So know this. For me, the best way for me to learn is to keep doing things repeatedly, right? So I encourage you to go over this book and not just gloss over it, gloss over it, but actually take the time to absorb the information, right? And one of the things that will separate you from your peers would be things that are simple, such as knowing the soldier's creed, right? And knowing how to communicate using military time, who your chain of command is, right? So again, use this book. It will help you in the future. And moving on to, if anything, if you just, one thing that I want to take away from this, right, from the resources, is along with your first line leader, the RSP NCOs, the drill sergeants, the NCOs within this organization, we are a resource for you. I often say to soldiers, it's hard to fix a problem that I don't know. So if I don't know it, I can't fix it. If there's a problem, you need to let us know. And you need to let us know immediately. Problems tend to not, especially big problems, it doesn't get any better if you keep it, if you hide it, right? So let us know immediately, let your first line leader know immediately. If you can't get a hold of your recruiters, in every document that we send you or email that we send you, the newsletter, that's another resource, the newsletter, read that. The app, the Alaska Army National Guard app, download it if you don't have it. I'll post in the newsletter, you'll see the link. My number, there's always a number that you can contact, right? So that is for the resource. What are some do's and don'ts while at drill? Couple things for males: haircut and clean shaven faces. So that's get a proper military haircut. Army Regulation 670-1 covers that. Don't obviously would be a don't would be smelling like you've done physical training before you conduct physical training. Smelling like PT before you have even conducted PT. So don't be that guy or gal. So that's personal hygiene, essentially what I just covered. What else? Make sure that you don't have your phones on you during drill. Make sure you don't have any weapons, any drugs, narcotics, or alcohol. Right? Basic things. Tobacco products. And all these things. High value items. For drill specifically, it's 2 days, right? It gives you that environment, that military environment that you'll experience in basic training or AIT. So if you're a smoker now, so tobacco. If you're a smoker now, I used to smoke. We were just talking about it in the office today, but I have stopped smoking since May 21st of 2014. So if I can do it, you can do it too. I encourage you to quit that habit. But do know that when you go to basic training, there is no tobacco products allowed. So, and alcohol. So if you're of age, please take note of that. And again, in this, the do's and don'ts. Do's, like I've said earlier, tell your first line leaders, your recruiters, or us, if there is an issue. Specifically in the more emphasis on the administrative side. Not saying mental health is important, right? We need to know everything, but focusing on the administrative side, let us know immediately. So if you have a lease, if you have a new lease, if you just got married, if you received a ticket, if there was a medical change in your document, right? So let us know. Another don't show up late. Show up 15 minutes early to the time that we have given you, right? It gives you and us that's the why to the 15 minutes, right? So it gives you and us time to adjust for any changes, because change is a constant thing, right? So it gives us the window of opportunity to make those necessary changes and adjust. So that's why that's the why of the 15 minutes prior to any formation. All right, so we're almost done here. Promotions. There are 2 ways for you to get promotions while you're at the RSP. So if you've enlisted as an E1, there is an opportunity, an E1 or a private PVT, there is an opportunity for you to leave the RSP, go to basic combat training as an E3, as a private first class. The 2 ways, the first one is Stripes for Skills. Stripes for Skills encompasses a Stripes for Skills test. Essentially, it's a test that covers everything that we teach you, everything that's in the blue book, everything that's in the STREM, and there's an information sheet attached to the newsletter that gives you information about that test, right? About some of the topics that will be covered in that test. So that's one portion of that Stripes for Skills, and the other one is to pass an ACFT, is to pass the Army Combat Fitness Test. And again, we'll along with the OPAT, we'll cover that in a different video, but that is Stripes for Skills. Now, Stripes for Buddies. Stripes for Buddies is another way for you to get promoted, and that's if you refer someone, if you refer a friend, a family, another individual that enlists before you ship. Okay? So again, if you know of someone that would like to join this organization, if you refer them and they enlist before you ship to basic training, that is another way for you to get promoted 1 rank. If you refer 2 individuals, that you're authorized to get promoted to the next rank. But you can only get promoted up to private first class. So let's give an example. So if you are a PBT and you do And you have stripes for skills can only get you promoted from private to PV2. So to get there, you do stripes for skills, right? You do the test and the ACFT. And then after that, if you have a referral that enlists, we can promote you using the stripes for buddies, right? And we'll cover these during drill and ensure that you are, but this is not something that we give you, right? This is something that you earn. This is something that we don't give out nonchalantly. You have to earn this. You have to meet the certain criteria to get promoted, right? So those are the two promotion opportunities in the RSP. And I'd hate to miss an opportunity to also share that we have a visitor program. And what that is you are allowed to ask a friend, somebody that you know that you think would benefit from an RSP drill, right? To see maybe they're interested and it's like, oh, I don't want to do it yet. Maybe that'll give them that push. But you can invite them and they can partake in some of the training, not all, some of the training that we're doing, because there are training that we do that requires certain things. For example, ID cards, right? So we have a visitor program, and if so, you have somebody that wants to attend the RSP drill, just let your first line leader, your recruiter, know that you would like to invite somebody to attend that IDT, that inactive duty training. Let me see if I'm missing anything else. One of the things that this module, and there's a PowerPoint that accompanies this, but I firmly, if there is a way for us to conduct training without PowerPoints, I'm all about it. But in the PowerPoint, it goes over an exercise and the soldier's creed. So for the exercise, I'd encourage you to download the PRT app. The PRT app will look, I don't have my phone, I'm recording this through my phone, and the PRT app should look like, the Army PRT app should look like a kettlebell, a yellow kettlebell. And I'll also link that in the description. Download that and go through the different exercises. It walks you through the whole PRT, the Physical Readiness Training Program, the different exercises within that. And in the Soldier's Creed, again, if you don't know it yet, you need to know it. It's not an excuse to show up to drill and say, oh, I don't know it, I don't have the resources. Because again, we provide them to you, and if you have any questions, our numbers, there is a way for you to contact us. When I say us, your recruiters, and even me, my number is there. So there shouldn't be any excuses why you don't know it, or at least you know a bit of some parts of it, right? But if you've been with the RSP for more than a month, there is no excuse. There is no excuse for you not to know what the Soldier's Creed is, what are the general orders, right? That basic military knowledge. So, to summarize all of this, again, I wanted to just say that thank you for your decision to serve in this organization, to serve our state, to serve this country. And my name, again, is Sergeant Apolinar. I'm one of the RSP NCOs that assists you in your journey in the RSP, and I hope to see you this upcoming drill. And if you have any questions at any time about this video, please put them in the comment section below. Full disclosure, I don't really have a full grasp of this Facebook Live, but I will learn it. But if you have any questions, put it in the comment section below. Like it, share it, and send it to other members in the RSP that you know, and make sure that they're tracking that this is a thing, that sergeant's time is a thing. And again, our goal is to provide you this training every Thursdays moving forward. That's all I have, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks.